Welcome back for another book review. Today we are talking about this one. So this is 10-Minute Crystal Ball, Easy Tips for Developing Your Inner Wisdom and Psychic Powers by Skye Alexander. So as the title would not suggest, it's kind of more of the subtitle, kinda. A lot of other reviews pointed this out as well. Even my husband, I was like, fresh, I've not told you anything. What do you think this is about? It's not about crystal balls at all. It's a solid 1% of the book. It's like nothing in here. It's mostly about a very brief introduction, kinda-ish, into your intuition as like a very broad sense, and like divination, again, very, very, very broad, very heavy on introduction. That said, I gave it a 3. It's a bad 3. It's teetering towards a 2, but I mean, I've read worser books, so that's why my 3 has a gauge with it, because it's like it's more that way, but like it's not all the way, you know? So it's a 3. It's a bad 3, because why do you not have the title match? Like, there are so many options you could have picked, and I realize this may not be on the author. A lot of times in traditional publishing, you, the author, don't have the rights to the book title. The publishing house and whomever within that company is the one who determines the title, because they're picking off of like marketing and things like that. And so usually that's why like a lot of indie publishing, like me, we like to do it ourselves, because we can pick and then not have to deal with that and hope the publishing houses are kind and pick a good one. This did not happen. So I don't know, again, it might not be the author's fault for this, but yeah, no, this this was not about crystal balls, which is a bummer. And again, a lot of other reviewers had pointed this out, that it's like, you would want that to be what the book is about, you know? Because there are a lot of books actually that are now just tool specific. Llewellyn has a series of them. They've got like wands, and I think I've read brooms and wands so far, but I think they have the other ones as well. I just don't think my library has them, and I am not rich enough to go buy all of the books I want to get. So one day I will. But for now, or they'll just send them to me. Oh my god, it's gonna be awesome when that starts happening on the regular. I'm so stoked. But yeah, this, I don't know that there's a lot of other ones that just have their tool specific things, but with this kind of a title, it really made a lot of people assume it's going to be about crystal balls. Maybe it would have a few other things to like support it, but a lot of people, myself included, were expecting it to be about it. Like, it's not a big book anyways, so you could have talked about materials, sizing, shape, like techniques, safety. That's always a big one. Don't leave your crystal ball, or really any crystal, out. Because, do you remember when you were a kid and you learned about a magnifying glass and the sun and the ground? Yeah, or if you ever watched like Toy Story, remember that when that happened? Yeah, your crystal ball does that too. And then you can burn your house down. So that's why I love our witchy space, because it doesn't have any windows, so I can leave whatever out and it's fine, because I don't have to worry about that. But if you don't have that, be careful. And like, that's usually the biggest warning you're gonna see with crystal balls. Why do I have that? There's a lot you could have talked about, you know, how to care for it, how to clean them, you know, a lot of things. But no, it's not that. Instead, you get this, and it's the same for the entire thing. It's concept, paragraph, concept, paragraph, concept, paragraph. And to call some of these a paragraph is iffy at best. Like, there's a lot of like just random page, there's not a lot. Like, it's very random. Like, wear opals. Opals are good stones for enhancing intuition. Strengthen your psychic ability by wearing opal jewelry or carry opal in your pocket. That's it. And then it moves on to like sleep with amethyst. Change your handwriting. Notice reoccurring incidents. Like, it's just all over the place. Everything is so briefly described. that it's kind of to the point, I honestly think if you Googled it, that stupid, which I hate, but the AI summary is gonna have more information than this book. On pretty much any given topic, it's just like this brief little like, bloop, and then you move on with your life, and it's like, but why? Why? Nothing was in detail at all. Also, the only one that really stood out that was in particular, I was just like, oh my god, why? So on page 195, I'm so tired of seeing this random crap, because like, you don't need this. Eat chocolate to increase your love quotient. Physically, chocolate stimulates the production of endorphins in the brain, which increases loving feelings. Eating chocolate can help you send out loving vibrations to attract a new partner or may improve an existing relationship. Note, and this is where it gets bad, note, this may work better for women than men due to differences in brain chemistry. Where did you get this? What kind of universe ever? Like, I'm gonna be so for real. It's like the stupidest, randomest thing ever, but like, why? Just, why? Because honestly, I call bull. My husband is the chocolate addict. Like, if we go get dessert anywhere, he will pick chocolate on chocolate on chocolate on chocolate. I will have like a nibble. Well, before I found out I was allergic to dairy, I would have like a nibble and be set for life. I'm not a chocolatey kind of person like that. I like some. Like, I love my peanut butter Oreos, because they're vegan, in my coffee every morning. That's awesome. But like, chocolate on chocolate on chocolate, like at Olive Garden, they're like chocolate lasagna. It's his favorite thing to get. Oh my god, it's so rich. Like, oh, it's so bad. I'll just run over way out of my way. If you live in Utah, which I don't think any of you do, but if you do, go to City Cakes. I haven't gone there in so long because it's really not convenient or close at all. But I used to make trips out to Salt Lake all the time, so I would go there way more frequently. But like, they used to have, and I'm sure they probably still do, but they have cheesecake that I think it was like cashew based or something. So freaking good. The Daya just tastes weird. It's not my favorite, but like in a pinch it'll do. But there's, oh my god. So like, that's more my speed of sweets. But why would men not have the, what? I need to know the science that you got this from. Or was it just because women are typically associated? And also, if it's chemistry, how would that apply to, like, again, trans people? Would a trans woman, because she was born a dude, not have that reaction? Or vice versa, would a trans man still have the effect because, again, being born a woman? And also, intersex, where the F are they gonna fall? Is it like, at what point does the brain chemistry, you know, like, it gets really complicated when you actually bother to go just a little bit deeper. And it's like, again, it's the stupidest thing ever. What does telling women that chocolate's gonna work better for you to, like, do your love magic because you're a woman, because your brain, for a crystal ball? What the F? Like, you could almost maybe see it in like a kitchen witchery book. Maybe. I'm still not convinced. There is no, oh my god, this girl's back. He's so freaking cute. Oh my god, he distracts me every day. But like, he's just meandering along this fence right by the cat, and she's like out the window. Oh my god, there's two of them. I know people who hate squirrels will hate this, but I love them and I feed them and they're the cutest little creatures ever. Anyways, but I don't, like, where's the science behind this? Because I don't think I've ever heard, ever, outside of, like, again, the really random witchy community, that somebody's gonna be like, well, you know, chocolate affects women different than men. It's so stupid. And I know I have a lot of dudes. Currently, you are, like, I think my top demographic, oddly enough. But, like, also, all of you are part of the rainbow community, so hello. But, like, I don't, and would that make a difference? Because, like, gay and bi men are typically a little more feminine. Does that mean that they would have the effect because their brain lines up more with a typical female brain? What the hell? Like, it's the stupidest thing. Why? Like, we don't need to have this random, like, you literally could have just not written it and it would have been fine. Like, it added nothing to the point of this book. And I know it's a stupid thing to get caught up on, I totally get that, but also what's so stupid, why did you put it in there in the first place? Like, and I don't think there was any on the reverse side of like, well, this one's going to affect men more than women, and it's like, it's food, dude. Like, I don't think really, unless you have food allergies, it's going to affect you any much different, really. And like, I mean, I don't know, I've heard like, you know, certain things you need more of depending on your gender, but also I kind of wonder if that's more circumstantial. Like, because there's plenty of women who are like bodybuilders, they're gonna need a whole lot more protein than me, who's sitting over here at a computer every damn day. Like, they're gonna need more than I do. And would that be about the same as a dude? Probably. But then also, like, dudes usually aren't going to need as much like iron because you're not bleeding out, but also not every woman has a period. So like, it's just stupid. And like, why? Oh, and then to get to the end of the book, I almost was gonna forget this. Of course, no conclusion. Why would we have that? But there's only 7 sources for this book, and 2 of them are her own other books. I feel like that's just like such a cop-out to be like, oh, I used my own sources. It's like, dude, it's your own brain. You came up with both of the books. Like, you don't need to list it. What? It's just the stupidest thing ever. And I don't know, it was weird. Like, why are you listing your own books as a source? It's almost as bad as listing a coloring book, because like, really? To me, it just is a little egotistical. You only had 7 sources. 2 of them are your own. Like, you only had 5 sources for this book, really. And there's a lot covered in here, which is a little bit like, you only had 5? You only looked at 5 places for all of this information? You know, it's, and I don't even think they were that, like, okay, see, here we are. Resources. So we have her 10-minute feng shui, her planets in signs, then we have how to read signs and omens in everyday life by people, the elements of graphology, growing a business, autonomy of reality, merging the intuition and reason, and awakening intuition, and that's it for this whole book. I don't know, I always like when people have a lot of sources, like you obviously did some research into this, but yeah, that might not be everyone's problem, but it was mine. So I would only recommend this if you are just wanting like a skim read level of introduction into the intuition, divination, such of the like. Crystal Ball, to be perfectly frank, you got, again, maybe 1% of the book, if that. Like, it's not about crystal balls at all. Or even just scrying in general. It's not about that either. It's, you got I Ching, you've got tarot, pendulum, runes, a little bit of everything really. So anyways, I'd love to know your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. A huge thank you to my patrons. If you would like to support me and get access to exclusive content, I usually post like 4 or 5 times a week over there. So you got a lot of content, so make sure to check it out. And of course, until next time, thank you so much for coming along, and blessed be.